welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, your go-to sports podcast featuring great content, conversation, and your occasional disagreement. Stick around to interact and ask questions. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports, located on the White Horse Pike in Hamilton, New Jersey. Showcase Sports for the elite player. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Game Winning Drive. I am excited tonight because we got our president and founder, whatever the hell he is, Brian Tard is here tonight.
I wear many hats.
He wears many hats on this network. We are presented by the Sports Box Network. I got my guys with me as always. I got my boy Ryan, my boy Brant, and my brother from another mother, Brian, and Alex. And
we're all related. It's like the Brady Bunch.
I'm just like,
I'm just like goddamn bees.
I know there's a lot of bees. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, we're gonna recap week 3. We're gonna talk about the biggest victory this season. The Chargers gave it to Kansas City. Okay, I'll save it for later. And then also we're gonna talk about the Browns because we have to, and we're gonna talk about the Washington football team because we have to. There's some kind of relevance on our show. Guys, how was your weekend? Let's start with Brian because Brian is here. Brian, how was your weekend, brother?
My weekend went up significantly Monday night at around 11 Eastern. Couldn't complain. It was good.
Definitely. That's it, huh? All right.
I'd like to personally thank the Kansas City Chiefs for losing my parlay. Thank you.
Hey, I'll say this. I'll go on record to say that this man takes a lot of flack over our media and everything that everybody posts on the amount of Philly fans out there that were just pounding into Cowboy fans, and then it got quiet real quick.
You know what?
Real quick.
Ryan, I've lived here my entire life. Like it's the analogy that I give is I'm like the zookeeper and they're like the monkey pit, and I just know exactly what they're gonna do. It's extremely easy, and you play them like a fiddle.
Love it.
Brant, how was your weekend, bro?
It was a good weekend. Enjoyed it. Got to spend some time with the family. It was terrible Sunday morning or early afternoon, wherever you're at. Their defense has forgotten to show up. Washington has, so it's been fun. It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure.
Definitely. And then the great Bambino, how was your weekend, bro?
Oh, it was good, man. A lot of family time. Definitely been a good week so far. I have exactly 6 working days until I start terminal leave or PTO for you civilians until I retire officially on the 31st of December. So I'm excited, man.
Congrats.
Not retirement for good, though. I already got another job lined up. I start in November. So, but going to take a little time off with the family, going to travel a little bit, go home to Ohio, do some stuff. So things are good, man. Just moving quick. It's getting right around the corner, man.
Thank God. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the countdown. All right, let's get into it here. We got to talk about he's the reason why he is here. The aftermath of the Cowboys and Eagles on Monday night. Is this Dallas's division to lose? A concern for Philly? Brian, talk to us about the game.
Well, the game is interesting because the Cowboys have now played in 3 different types of games, right? They had that high scoring game that they lost at the end against the Bucs. Listen, there's no shame in losing to the world champs. They had that tight game against the Chargers. It was basically fun with flags, but they found a way to get a win there. And then on Monday night, I know that game was close score-wise for most of that first half. I got to tell you, it didn't really feel that way. The Eagles could get nothing going offensively, and I know they scored 41 points, but I think they won that game mostly on their defense. And that's just, I said coming into the year, what I needed to see from them was their defense needed to look like a professional defense because last year it looked like anything but. And if the offense could prove that all those yards and all those points that they were scoring at the start of last season was not a result of just having to because your defense was trash, then they were going to be a pretty good football team. And I have to tell you, the defense flying colors. I look, you give up 32 to the Bucs. I really don't care. It's Tom Brady with every receiver ever in the league. So I don't care. The last 2 weeks, they've played very, very well. against Justin Herbert, who played a great game, and then the Eagles put some garbage points up. So, no complaints whatsoever on this side of the table.
Yeah, for me, real quick, talking, about the Cowboys, I have a couple of best friends, and Alex knows them very well, Clifton and Matt, who are diehard Cowboy fans. And, looking and watching a lot of their games, this is by far, and I think the whole panel will agree with this is the best defense they've had in a long time. I mean, Dan Quinn, we got to give him credit where credit is due. He came over, great signing by Jerry. If Mike McCarthy had a little bit of just some credence to what he wants, and signing Neal was huge, and putting Micah Parsons at DN when they needed it the most has actually been a blessing in disguise. We're talking about a kid who is now number 1 in PFF rookie scale rating for defensive player. He's just lighting it up pressure wise. His coverage needs to be worked on. Me and Alex talked about that a couple weeks ago. His coverage, it happens when you face the GOAT. It just happens. It's the first game of the night. But overall, without Lawrence, without Armstrong, I believe, you have a defense that has held teams besides the Bucs below 20. And, that needs to be talked about a little bit more, because this has been a great defensive performance by this defense and by Dan Quinn. Mike McCarthy is an effing idiot, but, he's blessed to have this offense that he has. We saw the time management from last year against the Rams opening day, where he just didn't know how to call timeout. It hasn't been fixed. So I think Kellen Moore is the lo and behold Jason Garrett that is going to be the head coach here soon for Dallas. Ryan, talk to me about the game. Talk to me how you feel.
It was a great game. I think you hit the nail on the head. The defense is the big surprise here. Obviously, Mike Nolan hire last year was terrible. Like, I don't know. I think he was hooking up Nolan I don't know if Nolan hired McCarthy in the past, and he was kind of like giving him a pat on the back for, hey, you took care of me, I'm going to take care of you. But Dan Quinn's the right guy. My question is how does Dallas feel about McCarthy in general? Because McCarthy, to most, I say, NFL fans, he's not the smartest guy. But frankly, with the Cowboys, I literally have no idea what he does. Like, he kept Kellen Moore, who was there previously. Dan Quinn's there running the defense. He has a special teams guy. What does McCarthy do, and what do the Cowboys fans feel about his tenure there?
Tony Quigley is one of the resident Cowboy fans on our team, and point blank, he said that's the biggest concern he has for the season is his coaching. We went from a decade of Jason Garrett, and every Sunday it was like I want this guy to get hit by a car because I don't want to watch this anymore. And they go from him to McCarthy, and again, you're right. This is Dan Quinn's defense, and this is Kellen Moore's offense. The only thing that Mike McCarthy is there to do is waste clock and piss me off, and that's just where we are right now. But again, if he can stay away from those two and let them do their thing, I think we're going to be just fine. And I think Dan Quinn was a phenomenal hire, but he looks even better because Mike Nolan came in last year and tried to install this really exotic defense that you're in a COVID year, like you don't have any sort of like actual off season to install a defense. And then they looked like the worst defense there ever was in the history of football. And you're like, well, what are we supposed to do now? So he's great. And listen, Kellen Moore, like I said, it was actually a brilliant move by him, keeping him there. They're continue to run the offense to their strengths. I have no, my complaint's Mike McCarthy, but I can get by that because I don't think he's really doing a whole hell of a lot.
I also think that let's just call a spade here. Mike McCarthy had no say to keep or get rid of Kellen Moore. I think that was Jerry Jones telling him. Jerry Jones like, no, listen here, you fat piece of shit. You're gonna keep Kellen Moore here. That's my guy. I'm not losing him. I am not losing him. Brant, talk to me, brother. Talk to me. This
what are we
is
talking
one
about?
Of your rivals.
I don't know. I feel like there's been white noise in the background the last 10 minutes. I haven't been paying a lick of fucking attention because fuck the Cowboys, right? No, honestly. No, it sickens me to say good things about the Cowboys. Like I feel like if I pulled my fingernails off, it hurt less. Honestly, with the Cowboys, I think it's their division to lose. The Eagles and the Giants didn't come into this season at all with any threat of winning the division, it was between Washington and Dallas. And Washington's saving grace was the defense that just hasn't shown up the last 3 weeks. Could they show up and turn things around? Sure. Will it happen? Nah, I'm not holding my breath. But right now, I think it's the Cowboys. They've got too much firepower on offense. Their defense has been better than I think a lot of us anticipated, myself included. And yeah, Mike McCarthy may be an idiot and botch stuff, but he's got enough smart people working, under him that they can keep things going to save his blunders. I mean, but realistically, what is this going to cost them, right? Like, are they going to win the Super Bowl? No, I'd probably put them as the fourth best team in the NFC right now.
Who do you have at 3?
Fair. Rams, Bucks. Who else?
Rams, Bucks.
Probably the Packers, just because that
I give you that.
Green Bay, Dallas, it always seems to go Green Bay in the playoffs. And I would have them fourth. So it's kind of like Washington last year. It's like, yeah, Dallas might end up winning the regular season this year, but what's that going to cost in terms of everything else?
But here's the benefit that Dallas has that the other 3 teams don't, is their division is trash, and they should go 6-0 in their division. The Rams are in, just a ridiculous buzzsaw of a division out in the NFC West. The North, okay, Green Bay's probably in a good spot there, but who knows? And then the South, I mean, the Saints are no slouch. Carolina looks better. Atlanta's Atlanta. The Cowboys should run through. Again, I think it is their division to lose. Winning it is not by any stretch some sort of grand accomplishment. As we know, 7 wins won it last year. But their road to a home playoff game and potentially a high seed, I think, is easier than the other teams that are out there. Everybody kept saying how easy the Cowboys schedule was. The North schedule was very difficult. So they have advantages there. They look very balanced. Again, I'm the biggest Dak critic there is, but he's looked good, and he's looked good coming off that injury. I said in the offseason, like, if he has a bad year, I can't really hold him responsible for that because he's coming off this massive injury. It's not his fault, but he's looked good. They've won different ways.
He's looked good for years, but we won't get into that subject. Alex, talk to me real quick.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts
I'll
on
keep
this?
it short and sweet. I think
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dallas division, obviously, I don't see anybody challenging them. I don't know if Washington's going to get it together. They got what I would really consider a rookie quarterback running the offense. I know his 2nd or 3rd year, right? But this is his real first chance at starting. The only question I really have is do you feel that Zeke showed enough? Because we've been hearing the rumblings about Tony Pollard's the best running back on this offense. Do you think Zeke showed enough with the 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against not a good team, but he looked more like Zeke? Do you think he showed enough to maybe keep the haters quiet?
Well, I think that I like the fact that they can think of what the Browns do, with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It's very, very rare do you see a team in the league that just uses that one running back. I mean, obviously, when you're paying this guy that much following the draft pick, you assume he can do everything. Maybe he's not who he was 2-3 years ago. It is what it is. But Pollard gives them a dimension that Zeke didn't. And that's not even a shot against Zeke. He is who he is. So I think the fact that they can use Pollard a little bit more actually will keep Zeke fresher longer. He doesn't need to be the bulldozer he was coming in. Again, their passing offense is fantastic. They have all the tools. I mean, Dak has just a plethora of weapons to choose from. Tony Pollard it's just a different kind of running back. Pollard's got that shifty go to the outside. Zeke's trying to go up the middle and try to, blow through people. Probably the guy who runs to the outside might get more daylight. So you can't, I don't think it's fair to compare the two. They run differently, but they complement each other extremely well. That bodes well for the rest of the way.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
Great. All right. We are in a potential playoff preview. The Rams take down Brady and the Bucks. Who is the best team in the NFC, Alex?
Rams.
Easy answer. I like it.
Plain
and simple.
They proved to me. I went into this game thinking that the Bucks were gonna. I knew it was gonna be close. Is what I thought, right? But I thought Bucks win for sure. And the Rams defense looked like the better defense right now. in the season. The offense looked more polished. Yeah, I mean, maybe all they were missing was a above average quarterback. Because I think we can all agree that Goff is a decent quarterback. He's just not good to great, which is what Stafford is good to great. So, yeah, Rams, easy.
I think you live too much in the moment and not realize what the season is gonna be.
I mean, did you watch the game?
I did watch the game. I watched from beginning to end. The Buccaneers is still the best team in the NFC for me personally. They were out. You know, the safety blanket of Antonio Brown that could play the slot, the X and the Y in the Z position. They also have not figured out the running game, which I think will be fixed and addressed as the season goes along. And they were also out with a couple defensive players that will also make a difference in their defense, especially in their secondary. We also are talking about the GOAT, the guy who threw for 400 plus yards and had, I think, 1 or 2 touchdowns on Sunday, 1 rushing, 1 passing, and this offense just wasn't clicking right. That happens. We saw that last year. We saw them lose to the Saints twice. You saw them lose to the Bears, and then they got hot at the end, and it was just one of those things where they got on fire and this and that. Well, you really think that Tom Brady is just going to be like, okay, all right, it is what it is. Let's just move on. This is Tom Brady, dude. We've seen this script how many times, as all of us have been NFL fans for how many years. Tom Brady in this offense and this defense with Todd Bowles, who we claimed and chimed as one of the greatest defensive coordinating performances as a coach in a Super Bowl against one of the most powerful offenses that we have ever seen in the Kansas City Chiefs, slammed them down, and you don't think that he's going to be able to come up with a game plan against Matt Stafford and this Rams offense? He'll come up with a game plan. We're going to come back on this show in the middle in the playoffs, and I'm going to laugh at your face and tell you the Buccaneers are the best team in the NFC.
Can you promise that the Rams have 3 starting offensive linemen out? Because that's why they won that game, and nothing will ever convince me otherwise.
Okay, Brent.
Well, obviously, with the Rams winning, they were definitely the better team last week. However, I don't see them taking down the Bucs in the playoffs, just because I think Bruce Arians will get it going, get it figured out. I think that eventually they're caught me off guard a little bit. I think they'll get it going, and I think honestly they're going to start leaning on Leonard Fournette a lot more. That running game Sunday was appalling, to say the least. I mean, I think what you have, Ronald Jones went 5 of 11, Fournette went 4 of 8. Brady rushed 3 times. Godwin rushed 1. I mean, so you're talking about 10 rushes in a game by 1 by a wide receiver, 9 by a running backs. They'll get it figured out. I think in the playoffs, the Bucs are more dangerous, but the Rams and the Bucs is who I had in the NFC Championship game. I think they're the 2 best teams in the NFC, and the Rams had more to prove this last Sunday than the Bucs did. And we know who the Bucs are. They were missing some players like Antonio Brown and some guys on the defensive side. And you can roll your eyes, but Antonio Brown's done good in this offense. And he's been, especially week 1, like he's been a big presence and another target for a loaded team. And so in the playoffs, I think the Brady and the Bucs will be better, but the Rams came out and hit him in the mouth, and they definitely made a good statement with this win.
Ryan.
This one's pretty easy for me. The Rams are the best team in the NFC. I 100% felt this way coming out a couple weeks back. Actually, I said it, and Alex and I we didn't go at it, but he brought the Bucs right away. And I just think the Rams are more well-rounded. They still have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Now, the Bucs rush defense is fantastic. Maybe top 3, could be the best in some opinions, but their secondary, there's a lot of holes there. They do not look good in their secondary. And then on the opposite side, you have probably the best corner in the league, along with the best DT in the league. And I just think they're more rounded. I think that they can run the ball better than the Bucs. I think that Bucs have more threats, but the scheme that the Rams have the better availability to score, in my opinion. I think that the Rams, hands down, are the best team in the NFC, and they proved it this past weekend. Did they have more to prove? Sure. They didn't win a Super Bowl last year. but they didn't take that game off either. That there was a garbage touchdown at the very end, which put it within 10 points, but that was not a 10-point win. That was a 17-point win. I think that the Rams proved it this weekend that they are the best.
Right.
So
See, Bill.
a famous line for Ric Flair is to be the man. Woo, you got to beat the man. And there's a stat that I like.
I don't know if he's a good person to use right now.
Hey,
Too soon.
I'm just throwing it out there.
It is what it is. But I run this statistic. I don't know if it has a name or anything. I thought of it and I like it. So I like to compare a team's ranking in yards for and yards against. So if you have the best yards for and yards against, your rank is 2 because you're number 1 in both. If you're 64, you're 32nd in both. You're probably the Jets. So last year,
Yes.
the 2 best teams in that metric were the Rams and the Bucs. The Rams were 12 and the Bucs were 13. The Bucs will have every intangible possible because you can never count Tom Brady out. But to be fair, if you look at the playoff run last year, they won those games predominantly on their defense. Yes, Brady was there and Brady got the ring, and I'm taking nothing away from the most decorated quarterback who will ever play this game. But it was the defense that helped them really get to where they needed to get to. The Rams have the best defensive player in the game in Aaron Donald. He is a beast. He is a monster. He is a force. I don't know that the Bucs have one of those. Vita Vea's not far off, but Aaron Donald still got the mantle. And the secondary for the Rams is significantly better than anything the Bucs are going to put together. They just added Richard Sherman. Okay, cool.
We'll see. There's a reason he didn't have a job.
That's true. Stafford was in hell his entire career. He broke out of jail and ended up with the Rams, and they look very, very good. It would not surprise me at all if this is a battle for the NFC in the championship game. And I think what will help Tampa is Tampa's got the easier division because the Rams are again in a buzzsaw. All 3 of those other teams are very good. You can make the case they're all playoff teams or they're very close to it. If they're not, it's because they're playing each other. These are the 2 best teams in the NFC. And then you have that next tier. You look at Green Bay, possibly Dallas if they continue this, things like that. But would shock anybody if one of these 2 teams is representing the NFC in the Super Bowl? Not a little bit.
All right.
So who'd you pick?
Right now, while the Rams just won the game, so you obviously, again, they're holding the.
I just wanted to
proverbial
make
flag
sure.
For the moment. It's the NFL. Things will change 16 times between now and the Super
So
Bowl.
it's 3-2, right?
Close.
Three smart guys and the 2 chuckleheads. Okay, I just want to make sure.
It's funny how fast you flip. You flip so fast. 2 weeks ago, Bucs the best team.
Hey,
Now it's the Rams.
that's how the NFL works, baby. Got to keep it
Cowboys fan jumping back on the bandwagon.
It's one game. All right, Justin Fields, first start for the Bears clearly did not go as planned. Brant, it didn't go planned at all.
Apparently, Matt Nagy did
terrible.
He forgot to do some homework.
Yeah. So with that being said, I want to throw a stat out there before you get going. I saw the stat and I shared it to the Sports Box group chat there. The Bears averaged 1.1 yards the whole game. Second lowest ever. Brant, what the hell happened and why is Matt Nagy not fired today?
I mean, first off, I just want to sit back, and I think we all need to applaud Mitchell Trubisky for getting to the playoffs twice with this clown. How good of a quarterback is Mitch? Seriously. I mean, he might be a lot better than we all thought because Matt Nagy is a clown. How are you going to rush in a game where there's so many things. Montgomery should have more than 10 touches, for sure.
It's insane.
10 rushes. That's it? Are you kidding me? They were in the backfield. I think what a stat that I saw is Justin Fields had 68 passing yards, lost 67 due to sacks, and so he was net 1 yard passing. I said he's on a list right there with Ryan Leaf and
that guy's a legend.
Too soon.
So I mean, it's just bad. And everybody's right. Anybody that's going after Matt Nagy is 100% correct because he did nothing game plan wise to allow him. The Browns are obviously a good team. They've got a good defense, but why are you not putting anything in place to give him some protection? You're not running the ball enough. And for me, Matt Nagy should be gone day after the game. And it goes back to, I hate when teams can draft quarterbacks in a year that coach is gone. Matt Nagy is a terrible head coach. I would say last year he was probably the second worst, only to Adam Gase, who I don't know how that guy has a career left in coaching anywhere. But Nagy
Peyton Manning is the reason.
Yes. He just doesn't have it. He's not a good coach. He's not a good game planner. They had nothing in place. It's just terrible. They let Justin Fields down, and if you don't get a coach in there, they're going to have to, one, fix all the screw-ups that Nagy has allowed to happen, and two, the new coach might not want Fields anyway. So I don't get, and this goes back to the Washington drafting Haskins the year Jay Gruden, everybody knew he was gone. It's doing a disservice to a young quarterback when you know this head coach is going to be gone the next year. Matt Nagy was trying to save his job by drafting Justin Fields. And honestly, it's just one of the most pitiful performances I have ever witnessed in my NFL time.
But hold on, you're saying Matt Nagy drafted Justin Fields. It could have been Pace. I mean, the GMs could easily make that
also
call
a clown.
over. Yes, also a clown, but also the head coach. I agree with you.
But
yes,
it's a disservice for him, because if Nagy goes, this is now the third offense he's done in the last 3 years. When you add in the offense from Ohio State,
Chicago got their pitchforks out if they passed on Justin Fields. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
I mean,
he had to make that call. You got to make that draft call.
It's a disservice to that player.
Justin Herbert has had 3 offenses in 3 years. He's doing just fine.
Yeah, but Justin Herbert's better than Justin Fields is.
Well, no, college coaching.
Yeah, you want to count
the same thing. You know,
Brian. Brian, go ahead.
I think it bears remembering that Justin Tucker's ball traveled 66 yards, which is 19 more yards than the offense that the Bears had in this game.
That was a fantastic meme, by the way. That was well
you like
done.
that?
That was well done.
Look, Justin Fields will be fine. The Bears will be fine. They should be firing the head coach and the GM. There's a lot of that should be going on around the NFL, because guys who make big mistakes should probably not still remain employed. And go back to the Trubisky thing. It's not even on Mitch Trubisky's fault. Again, you bring guys in and don't succeed. You expect these guys to be panaceas, and they're not. Fields is going to be the quarterback of that team moving forward. I'm very comfortable saying that. They got a good one in him. He could end up being the best quarterback out of this draft class. That would not surprise me if that were the case. But right now, you didn't do your guy any favors. 9 sacks? You better work on your offensive line. You know, we talked about the Bengals skipping on Sewell to go get Jamar Chase and not giving Burrow any sort of protection. If you're the Bears, you better be looking at offensive line help in multiples in this year's draft.
Yeah, fully agreed. I'll jump in with what you had, Drew. There's nothing that you guys haven't already said. Matt Nagy's a clown. It's insane that even if he's not ready, if he wasn't prepared, he needs to go back and look at his Ohio State film and be like, pick your 10 best plays, your favorite plays, and I'm going to add them for this weekend, and we're going to run a very basic offense with those 10 plays added to it. It's pretty simple. He didn't do it. He failed his quarterback. Fields was, they had it skewed up for an Andy Dalton kind of game, and Justin Fields he's probably the third fastest quarterback. He's a 4.4 guy. In this game right now, he's probably the third fastest quarterback outside of Lamar and Kyler. So they took no advantage of that whatsoever, and it was just sad. I feel bad for Fields, feel bad for Chicago fans, and it was tragic. It was tragic. Simple as that.
Listen, horrific game plan, horrific planning, horrific game calling, and it was just a matter of time before Matt Nagy revealed to himself his true form about what he can do with a lack of knowledge about the game in the NFL. All he had to do, and I talked about it with Brian, and we talked about it last Wednesday, protect your quarterback and build confidence within him. Yes, he's going against a Cleveland Brown defense, but that Cleveland Brown defense was struggling coming into Chicago. We talked about that last week. What they didn't do is they didn't install any play action. They didn't install any running game whatsoever. You got one of the best running backs in the NFL in David Montgomery. You also have a good handcuff with Damian Williams, who's actually had a lot of production with Andy Dalton. Why didn't those game plans of the first 2 weeks translate to week 3? That's what I want to know. You have a mobile quarterback that you just talked about that could have done a lot of RPOs, a lot of, we can call it Cam Newton I-form runs if you want to. That builds confidence in your quarterback to know that you're moving the ball, you're getting first downs, and that builds the confidence also around your teammates. What they need to do is they need to fire him. I don't know why Ryan Pace did not fire him. I don't know why the owner is not doing anything to fix this horrific situation, and it needs to be redone. It needs to be fixed because we were losing years of Khalil Mack's greatness on this defense. And he got hurt. Let's not forget that he got hurt. I don't know if he's okay or not. I haven't checked up on him, but overall, it was just a bad game, a really bad game. One of the worst games I've seen. Alex, finish it up.
Yeah, as a Browns fan, I mean, I enjoyed the game thoroughly, but from a football fan, the fact that Nagy came out after halftime and wasn't fired at halftime is a joke and a travesty to all Bears fans out there. He kept the same game plan that he was using for the Red Rifle. When you have a guy that you guys just talked about, you guys all touched it, right? But it was just unbelievable to me. I enjoyed it because I like getting 9 sacks and getting my defense some good game reps, some practice in before we play next week in a real game. So I'm fine with it, but it was terrible to watch. I mean, Justin Fields was running for his life. I mean, he couldn't complete a 3-step drop without somebody in his face. It's embarrassing. If the fact that a guy has 4.5 sacks in a game, one guy, I don't care that he's probably second best defensive player in the NFL, right? By, arguably whatever. He shouldn't have that many sacks. Like, running back should be chipping. You should be double teaming him. Let everybody else beat you on the line. But of course they didn't. So it was terrible.
Agree. Here we go. I cannot wait to talk about this. Is there? Oh no, sorry, we skipped this. Sorry, my bad. Sunday night football preview of Bill versus Brady. Probably the most anticipated game of the year for 2021. So I am gonna do this real quick because I read something today on Bleacher Report. I don't know if you guys read it or not. I was gonna share it to the group, but ESPN's very own has a book coming out. In the book, it said that Bill did not meet Brady face to face when Brady decided to leave, and he called him, and that Brady has been just away, not wanting to deal with him. Had a conversation with Bill Belichick since 2017. That is amazing to me. That is crazy to me that they were able to win a Super Bowl in 18 against the Rams and not have that, that personal relationship that they used to have. Bill has been on the conference this week talking about Brady's the GOAT and he's the best player and this and that, and but didn't really get into conversations about their personal relationship. So, Alex, what do you make of this, and how excited are you for Sunday Night Football?
I'm not excited at all for this game.
Okay. Brent, how are you excited on Sunday night?
The Buccaneers are going to beat them probably by 3 touchdowns. The New England is nowhere close to being rebuilt like we thought they were. They spent all that money in the offseason. They still have a rookie quarterback. Their offensive line doesn't look that great. I mean, the defense is playing decent, but not great. But I think it's a blowout. I mean, I don't even think this is a story because Brady went to a ready-to-win team, and Bill's trying to rebuild what he destroyed by just not giving an F about players, essentially. We all applauded him for it, but now it's coming back to bite him where they're overpaying free agents because I wouldn't want to play for a guy that I'm just a number for. Would you want to be a running back in that offense? You're not going to get numbers from, how are you going to get paid, right? Running back short his career, and he treats him like a revolving door, right? So why would I want to go there and help this guy win when I'm just a number to him? And that's how he really treats players. You saw he did it with the greatest quarterback of all time. Like, how do you let Tom Brady not retire as a Patriot? That's baffling to me. I don't care if the guy's 57 years old. He won me 6 Super Bowls. I'm not letting him walk out the door. So the guy's an idiot in that regard. I'm not excited about the game. I think it's not going to be competitive or close. They're in 2 different stages. Yeah, it's cool to see Bill get his shit kicked in because he's been doing it to people for years. But other than that, I don't care about
Brant, I want to, since he's speaking on that a little bit, I want to talk about what your opinion is on the fact that Brady even came out and saying that he was sick and tired of getting the team cut, and because that's what a lot of people are going there for, because he was making the low amount that he was making as a Patriot, as a quarterback, and not having any value or say into what they were doing with that money that he was saving for the team. How do you take that?
Well, I mean, I think it's reasonable, right? Like you look at quarterbacks are just different when it comes to football. They are the main guy. They are pretty much the entire offense. If you have a great quarterback, your offense will move. And we've seen in the league, if you don't have a good quarterback, then obviously you're not going to really amount to much. I mean, if you look at most quarterbacks that are great, I think it's the same thing that Rodgers is going through right now. He wants to have some say in who's in the offense and some say in like who can we bring in to help. It's understandable. And for me, I could definitely understand how it'd be frustrating for him because you're taking, cut after year after year after year. I think he was always in that 10 to 15 paid range. Of course, he's getting good bonuses, and his wife makes more than he has ever. But it would be frustrating not to be able to have that say. Now, a stat that I think is interesting, because I know everybody's into this like Brady versus Belichick debate, is Belichick is 63-75 in his career without Tom Brady starting. Like Alex said, I don't know how you let him go to Tampa. I don't know how you let him leave. I would have catered to his every need because he is a quarterback that can legitimately play another 4 or 5 years in the league because he takes care of himself so well. But yeah, for me, it is insane that Belichick had such an ego that he couldn't handle Brady being the quarterback on his team. And I think he's going to be paying the price until he retires.
Ryan, do you think a lot of this has to do, because another thing that I was holding out, I want you to talk on from what you think, the whole scenario with Jimmy G. Do you feel that played such a huge part? Because according to reports, that book that's coming out, I think it's called Don't Be Feared. That book that's coming out is that the owner, Robert Kraft, was at Colorado when the rumors started coming out that Bill wanted to trade Tom for a pick, and they wanted to start Jimmy G. And the owner flew out to New England when that happened and basically called Bill Belichick a piece of shit and an asshole. Do you feel that really was the beginning of the end between Brady and the Patriots?
I don't think it was the beginning. I think it was just an extra, straw to break the camel's back. That this has been an ongoing thing for Bill. How he handles the media is how he handles everything in life. His players, it seems like his family, his friends. He doesn't give a shit about anybody. He says, look at my fingers. This is how many rings I am. This is my worth. And we, like Alex said, we commended him for it. And he got a lot of rings on it. I love Alex yelling in the background. We were talking about this earlier. But I 100% believe that was true because that was big for Jimmy G was going to be the next Tom Brady in Belichick's mindset. He's like, this guy has all the accolades that I have. Now he's younger. He's not getting paid nearly as much, and he's more athletic. This will be my new Tom, guys. This is exactly how it's going to happen. And Kraft showed up and said, no, that's not how it's going to work. And then when Tom had his opportunity to leave, he did. I don't think it was what broke. I'm sorry. I don't think it's where it started. I think it's been an ongoing thing for a long, long time. And Belichick, I'll give him his credit. He is by far one of the best minds that the game has ever seen, maybe will ever see ever. But when it comes to handling people, that's not him whatsoever. And I think that's going to be his downfall and the reason why the Patriots aren't going to be looking good.
Brian, the final thing I want to say to you is that we heard it from Alex Guerrero earlier this week. That is Tom Brady's personal trainer, his best friend, TB12, and all that stuff. He said that in the quote, he said that Bill can't handle players of Tom Brady's stature and make him work like he's a 20-year-old coming into the franchise when he's been there for an X amount of years. And that was another wrinkle to their relationship fading away. Did Guerrero have some points there?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of one of those things where I'll give you like a kind of an analogy, right? The whole thing with Aaron Rodgers this offseason was that they treated him like an employee. They didn't give him any kind of say. You know, Aaron Rodgers is not just a guy. Like, he's earned the right with what he's done for your team to be part of the decision-making process. He at least needs to know, hey, we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. That shouldn't blindside him. And, you know, Bill's like this, you know, do your job. Like he treats them, you know, I don't know if there's whatever it is, like everybody is like a number, like an employee. And listen, one of these guys is Tom Brady. And, you know, you've earned the right. And if anybody has, he absolutely has earned the right to be treated a little differently, to have some say in how things are going. And maybe in the way Belichick wanted things to be done, everybody was here all doing their job. There wasn't tiers of player, so to speak. But I think I will say this. I think it speaks to their professionalism that it lasted as long as it did. Remember, Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other. They have a couple rings together. So you don't have to necessarily like love people that you work with. You are there to do a job. And what happened was for Tom, and listen, let's remember, to be fair, the year that Brady had his last year in New England was one of his worst statistical years that he was there the whole time in his career. He just broke 4,000 yards passing and 24 touchdowns. So if you're Bill, you say, hey, I don't know how much longer you really have. And who's to say that the way everything played out didn't just light that fire in Tom again to go prove him wrong? You know how Brady is. If this doesn't go down the way it does, where Brady feels slighted, who knows what he actually becomes in Tampa Bay. That gave him that next level drive. He's always like, oh, you don't believe in me. You don't this, you don't that. That's how he's driven. So in a way, Belichick may have played a massive role in who Tom is outside of New England. This is what he became in Tampa Bay. What I will say to Alex's point about being a ready-made team, I don't necessarily think they were a ready-made team. They were a good team with a very average quarterback. But Brady brought a lot of guys there. He made that environment where people wanted to go there. Take less money to go because it was playing with Tom Brady.
He did.
You know, it wasn't like Brady went there and his numbers were so astronomical that, oh, look what he did over Jameis Winston. I mean, again, that team was an 8th the year before. Yeah, Jameis had 30 turnovers. I get it. I totally get that. But it was the environment that was created there. I mean, he's the de facto coach. It's Tom Brady. It's a different level. He gets the adulation in Tampa he doesn't get in New England, and he can play that role for the next 10, 15 years. He'll retire when he wants to. He's earned that. He can be on a walker. It doesn't matter. That's his job until he doesn't want it.
Quick questions for the panel real quick on Sunday night. Just give me yes or no. Will the New England crowd boo Tom Brady?
No way.
No.
They might build boo for getting rid of him, though.
This isn't the clowns in Philly. No, they're not.
That's true. That's very true.
They are clowns. They are clowns.
My second question real quick before we move on. After Sunday night's game, will we see Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski shake hands with Bill Belichick?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're all class.
I'm going to say no.
You got to rub it in.
Unless
rub
Bill
every little bit
shake
in.
their hands, I think Tom and Gronk, like, for whatever the issues are between them, Tom is well aware that Bill gave him the opportunity. Nobody else was drafting the guy. Remember that. He was Mr. Irrelevant, right? So at the end, Tom owes his career to Bill in a sense that he gave him his first shot. So I don't think whatever their beef is, he's not like, F that guy, I hope he dies in a fire. He just wants to beat him every time into oblivion and shake his hand afterwards and be like, you shouldn't have traded me or shouldn't have let me go, right?
One point to you, though, I could reverse it back if I'm Tom. And you could owe these 6 champions because of me, and you're happy because of that, because I'm the one who's got you the 6 championships. But
I mean, defense won 3 out of those 6, so I don't know about that.
Tom's too classy to not. Tom will shake hands because he's a classy
Let's
guy.
be realistic here.
If this
defense
is
won 3 out of those 6. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, but if this is a 41-10 Buccaneers win, you don't think Tom wants to smile in Bill's face a little bit? It's like, yeah, good game.
Oh no, yeah, he wants to shake his hand every time. He wants to shake his hand and say, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls
he will.
Tampa Bay ring out, puts it on his finger before he shakes his hand. Like, Hey, Bill, how you doing? I got 7. How's
Hey.
those 6 doing?
We
Right, like,
saw what he did with Roger Goodell after he won against the Falcons and he
yes,
came
of
back.
course.
And by the way, I would say he's 1-4 on the offense, but that's another topic.
3-3.
Buy or sell, guys, real quick. Josh Gordon will make an impact on the Chiefs roster. I'm already gonna say sell. Alex, go ahead. I don't even want to talk about the pothead.
Sell hard and fast. And why are we even having this conversation?
I don't know. Brant, go ahead.
Buy. Eating marijuana is going to get him suspended again. So, no.
You
It's
can't.
sell.
You can't get
can't,
suspended
it's illegal.
anymore for marijuana.
I know it was
Good
a
now.
joke. Come on, it's a play on words.
Oh.
Shut up.
That's probably why
No,
he came back.
It's irrelevant, honestly. He's 30 years old, on the wrong side of his career, hasn't played a meaningful snap in years. So, no, he's not going to do anything.
Did y'all see how he played last time? It was terrible. Ryan,
Yeah.
buy or sell.
No, I got by. I think he's a guy that plays big. This is a team that's all fast and they need a big guy out there. He's not going to come out and get 1,000 yards on the season, but 500, 5 touchdowns. That's big for me.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
500 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Stop.
You
What
higher than
kind
Josh
of money are
Gordon
you
has
willing
been.
to bet? We'll do this offline because it's probably illegal. But I want to know what amount of money you're willing to bet on 500 yards and 5 touchdowns.
We'll do that on the side.
All right, I like that.
Hair
I'll
versus
take that
hair.
money.
No, I'm good.
I'll take that money.
Hair versus hair. There you go.
Listen, this will be a feather in Patrick Mahomes' cap. It's like he needs any more. If he can make a usable player out of this guy, whatever Josh Gordon will end up doing will be a direct result of Patrick Mahomes. Period. So
Right. I mean, we're just a far cry from
I remember when
Josh Gordon having 1,600 yards, being probably, if not the top wide receiver that year in the NFL, top 3 minimum, right? Like, we're a far cry from that. He's
8
done,
years ago.
He's
Yeah.
over. He's washed. I truly believe that.
he could have been a great receiver, but then he got high.
And then he got
buy or sell, Big Ben is the problem with Pittsburgh, Brant.
God, I'm gonna buy. And one of the biggest clips that makes me want to lean this way.
I know
is when
exactly what you're talking
is when
about.
He rolled out to his right and he threw the ball and then just fell. I'm like, is this guy okay? Like, what? I mean, I know he's not the most
doesn't
athletic
wanna be
quarterback,
there.
but that was sketchy. But yeah, he has not been good. He let me down last week against the Bengals with my picks. I was 14-2 last week. It was great. But yeah, no, he's been a major issue for that team.
Brian.
It's. Oh, I don't.
Go ahead.
You know what? Call me a tard, so I know who it's me.
Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm buying. Big Ben looks terrible. He's not. This is a direct effect of a guy that just played on his athletic ability and didn't really know the game all that well, but just could shed tacklers, let his defense play, and not mess up games. And that's who Big Ben was for a very long time. Now he's just an old guy that's slow and doesn't make the right read. So 100% on Ben.
What the fuck is going on? Atari, go ahead.
Of the 3 quarterbacks in that draft class, Eli, Rivers, and Ben is the only one still playing. And it's one of those things. There was an Eminem song years ago, and he's like, and when your run is over, just admit when it's at its end. And I think he came back an extra year because contractually it made sense. I don't know what he is anymore. Their offense does not look good at all. It looked bad in Buffalo, and they won a game. They've lost the previous 2. Is it too late? No, but I don't know what kind of confidence that you would get that he's going to turn it around. The Najee Harris pick smells so much to me like the Barkley pick to try to extend Eli's career. It didn't work for Eli. It's not going to work for Ben, and they're looking for a quarterback next year.
Are you guys just Ben haters?
No.
I mean, no.
Bro,
I'm-
click on that link and then
I
you
don't
go
want
watch
to.
it. And
I
you come
saw
back
it.
and have a
I saw
conversation.
the link. I'm
Yeah.
selling 1,000%. I'm selling on this.
So what
We're
is
talking-
the problem?
We're offensive line. That's the biggest problem right there. Their offensive line is absolutely god awful. Go look at their win rate, their pass rate, their rush rate, their PF grades. It's absolutely horrific. It's not good. And I want to tell you this right now. Yes, does Ben look old? Without a doubt. Does he not look durable anymore? Sure, yes. Can he throw the ball more than 35, 40 yards? I think he can if he has time. The problem is they directed Najee Harris instead of offensive linemen. They needed offense aligned to help out this offense. They had the receivers, they had the studs. They could have went and got a cheap free agent running back to include in this offense. They could have brought back James Conner if they wanted to. Conner wasn't the issue last year. The issue last year was the offensive line. And then also they didn't have TJ Watt last week, who is a big difference maker on this defense.
Sounds like the Giants.
And also, I also want to say that people want to diss Big Ben. And Ryan, I have to get back at you because you act like you don't have game IQ or anything like that. My man, he has been one of the most smartest quarterbacks in the game. And also, let's talk about the greatest throw of all time. That is not just athletic ability. That's being able to know how to throw the ball under pressure with everything on the table to Santonio Holmes against the Cardinals. I think that might be the greatest throw of all time in the NFL.
Todd Haley said it best. Todd Haley said it best.
Todd Haley's a bum.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's not, but this guy's Jamarcus Russell to him. He doesn't study the playbook. He doesn't know the right reads. He doesn't make the right calls. Big Ben, he doesn't do a lot for that team, in my opinion.
One has a job, the other one doesn't.
Neither should.
Drew, that catch by Santonio Holmes, what year was that?
Yeah, that was such a long time ago.
I want to say 2010 or
2009.
9.
I thought that was.
I mean,
Was that
it's
the year after the
2021.
Saints and Colts, right?
Peyton Manning had a lot of great throws. He probably can't play anymore.
No.
Like, Alex still had hair back in
That's
2009.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you saying because he's relying on athletic ability that he doesn't have anymore. When that wasn't the case at all, he could make any type of throw that he wanted to. Just 2 years ago.
Back then, 100%.
2 years ago, just 2 years ago.
No, I disagree. 2 years ago,
33 touchdowns and 10 picks last year. 33 touchdowns, 10 picks. That's not. Those are good stats.
You know what's not good stats is when you have to throw to your running back 14 times to account for 14 of your 38 completions and 100 yards of your stuff.
Brent, you want to know why?
It shows you he doesn't got it anymore. He doesn't.
So we're not going to talk about offensive line not being good.
No, they're not good. I'll give you that 100%.
I mean, who's going to throw behind that offensive line? The offensive line is broken. Is it not?
Joe Burrow's got a terrible offensive line too, and he's still getting it done. But he's also not the tail end of his career.
Oh my God!
Who has a better defense, the Bengals or the Steelers?
Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers do.
By far.
Alex,
how did they get outscored by 2 touchdowns?
Go ahead, Alex.
He looks pained right now. You okay?
All right, so I was selling 100%, and then Drew was the only one that was selling, and I don't like to agree with this clown, but I'm going to stick with my sell.
I'm always right. That's why.
My thing is this: they had more than just TJ Watt out on defense. Number one. Number two, like he brought up, the offensive line, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the worst rated offensive line in the NFL currently. What more do you need? I understand the guy's at the tail end of his career, and the IQ thing that kills me. Like the fact that you quoted, I'm not even gonna say his name because he doesn't deserve to be talked about on any podcast, national, nothing.
I knew you were going to talk about it.
It baffles me. The guy has 2 Super Bowls, and his defense didn't win either one of them for him. He put his team on his back, asked the players. They talked about it. They made videos about these Super Bowls that they won in Pittsburgh because they're all nuts there, the fans, right? Every person on that team credits him for both of those wins. The guy has been a stud forever. It's a Tom Brady thing. It doesn't matter if he can't play the way he used to. He's never leaving Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh, if anything, is loyal to a fault, right? I understand that Tomlinson has all these wins and stuff like that, but I personally, he would be fired by now for a lot of reasons that I'm not getting into because we're talking about Ben, but he put in a playbook or a set of plays that help Ben's skills now. Not what he used to be. He's not slinging the ball 60 yards anymore.
He hasn't in a while. Since 2018.
So make it look more like a West Coast offense like they do with Tom.
They do. They do have that same offense. They run that same offense.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like Ben's having to hang in a pocket that's folding around him a lot because guys that win a lot of matchups are not getting open because they're going deep. They're running out. They're running wide. Like I'm sorry.
That are doing TikToks.
Right. I'm a Pittsburgh hater through and through, and I'm not a Roethlisberger fan in the fact of like I respect what he's done, but no, man, like it's not all him. I'm selling 100%. He might be part of the problem, but he is not the problem in Pittsburgh. If you look at that offense and you think another quarterback, unless they're Patrick Mahomes or top 5 you want to name, would do better, I would laugh at you because they don't have time to throw the ball. Unless it's Lamar Jackson who can run past everybody, you have a problem there.
Can I give you a name?
Go ahead.
Joe Burrow, who's behind an equally bad offensive.
No, I would have agreed with you at the beginning of the year, but until I watch all games, right? That Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is playing better than they've been rated. They look better. Burrow has time to at least do a 5-step drop. If you ask Ben to do a 5-step drop, he's wearing his knees in his chin. Like he's barely completing 3-step drops and getting hit. It's like, yes, I agree he's part of the problem, but he is not the problem. I totally disagree with that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Can we all agree he's not part of the solution?
Yeah, no, he's not the future.
Agreed there.
You get
No, he's
maybe
not the
one
future.
more year. I think he's probably retired after this year, but
Yeah, he's
at maximum, you got one more year, Ben, right? Like there's no more. Ben is the past. They need a future, and they don't have that current quarterback on their roster.
Let's just get to our week 4 picks.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Results after through 3 weeks. Drew is 32. Was that 32 and 12?
32 and no,
Yep.
32
And 16.
32 and 16 of the 666. That's a bad number. Alex is 31 and 17 at 645 because he's the bitch he is. He's below me. And
Yeah.
Brandon is 32 and 16
Finally.
at
First time we've been
666.
doing this show, I'm
And
below him, and he wants to
Ryan
celebrate.
is 31 and 17 at 645. And Brian's
pretty-
just here.
I'm just hanging out.
I gotta say, actually, these numbers are pretty good when you compare them. I went over and looked over what a lot of analysts are doing. We got some pretty good numbers compared
Yeah,
to the rest of
absolutely.
everybody else picking.
The first
Pat
2
on the
weeks,
back.
you guys were doo-doo, but you've caught
You
up
guys.
this week.
We were all 8-8 after the first week. You mean after the second week?
So, with that being said, our Thursday night game is the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Bengals. The Bengals are favored 7.5.
Let's not talk
We
about
are
this
gonna-
game, please.
We're not. I'm starting it off. I'm picking the Bengals. Let's go, Alex.
Everybody should say Bengals. We would just move on.
Everybody want to say Bengals?
Bengals.
Thank you.
Okay, Bengals.
Urban
Urban
Liar
Liar
strikes
back in
again.
Ohio.
Urban Liar strikes again.
Stinks.
Can't stand him.
I mean,
Washington.
he's gonna ruin Trevor Lawrence's career. I hope you guys understand that.
That's on the top from that day. Washington football team is favored 1.5 over the Falcons. I think we all can agree here, or no? Does anyone else want to go with the Falcons? Okay, well then we'll start off with Brian. Brian, you want to go with the Falcons or Washington football team?
I mean, look, I'll take the Falcons. You know, the Washington should have lost to the Giants, and the Falcons beat the Giants. Ipso facto, take Atlanta.
Ryan,
100%. I got Falcons. Sorry, Brant.
Brant,
The Washington football team beat the Giants. Giants beat the Falcons. Oh no.
Did
the
they
Giants-
really? But did
Falcons
they
beat
really
the
beat the
Giants.
Giants? though?
It's late. It's been a long ass day. Washington. Fucking I don't care.
Alex.
Before the season, this was
Hey, it's a tough
super
one.
easy pick, right?
Our defense sucks. It's
My
so
gut
bad.
says Atlanta because their offense has looked better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Atlanta, but I'm not confident in either one. If Washington's defense have been playing well and they just have been losing,
So it's
tight
funny. You
games
picked them to beat Buffalo last week, but you
I
jumped the
did,
ship on the
because
lowly Falcons.
because they freaking look how bad they look, man.
This isn't hard for me at all. I'm going Washington football team.
All right, good. I'll catch up to you next week. I appreciate
I
that.
was gonna die if he would have changed his pick right there to the Falcons.
Texans against the Bills. Bills are
Wash.
favored by 16.5. Are we all agreeing it's
Bills.
Are we doing spread here or no?
No, we just
No.
Oh, okay.
spread,
Because I could see a Houston backdoor cover easy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We just put the spread so people
Fair
know.
enough.
No,
No,
that's
fine. No,
250-50.
Fair enough.
Here we go. This is a good one. The Detroit
Oh,
Lions
tough one.
go to the Chicago Bears. Bears are favored 3 points. We're gonna start with Ryan.
I got Lions here. I think the Lions could have been close to 3-0, by the way. They've been playing ball and it hasn't worked out their way. I think they win this game in Chicago.
Brant.
I want to go Detroit, but I like the defense of Chicago. This is a hard one though.
Remember, Mac is hurt. Remember,
We
Mac
don't
is
even know who's playing
questionable.
quarterback.
Mac is questionable.
Yep.
Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go Bears.
The Bears. That's not my pick, by the way.
My pick is gonna be the Lions. I'm going Lions here. I think I'm with Brian. I don't need to talk about it. Brian.
Yeah, I'll go with Detroit here because it's not even Justin Fields' fault, but that team's got so many issues.
Veal.
Who did you
Alex-
pick, Alex?
I'm taking the Lions. I figured that was going to be the only one, so it sucks because
I recommend not watching that game as much as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Panthers go into Dallas.
Ah.
Dallas is favored 4.5. I get to start it off on this one. This one's a little tough for me. No, it's not. I'm going Dallas easily. Let's go with Bry. Letard's going
You already
Dallas.
got it.
No McCaffrey, no problem.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
yeah.
Brant.
Agreed. If McCaffrey's playing, they still get beat. I think the Panthers are some of the biggest pretenders in the NFL right now. Cowboys beat them.
Carolina and Denver are pretty hollow 3-0s. They haven't played.
Yeah.
Alex.
I was going Dallas before the CMC injury, so it's a no-brainer now.
Bry.
Cowboys.
Brant is so excited.
No.
The
This
Indianapolis
NFL
Colts,
season sucks.
The Indianapolis Colts are 0-3. They're going into Miami, who just lost after a rough overtime game against the Vegas Raiders. Miami is favored by 2. Alex, you get to start it off this one. Who's getting the win?
We have so much time to look at these before we hop on, and
I looked at all of them, but it's like I've changed my mind like 3 times on this game. I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna take Dolphins. I'm not very confident in it, but I'm gonna take them.
All right, Brant.
I think Carson Wentz gets his first win this week. I think the Colts pull it out.
Ryan.
I agree. Carson gets his first, but if Carson doesn't play, I think the Dolphins win. But my pick is the Colts.
Atard.
Colts win, and I'll tell you what, any Eagles fans that are watching the show right now, I know you love the fact that the Colts are struggling with Carson Wentz, but you kind of need to hope the Colts get a win or two here, because if this falls to 0-7, Wentz is going to sit on the bench, and you're getting a second-round pick.
It's so funny you brought that up because I'm a friend. One of my friends is a diehard Colts fan. He just said that they will sit him if there's no hope.
Wouldn't you? If you
I would too.
A top 5 pick in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll just fill it up again next year. No worries.
Oh, yeah. Looking at this game.
I'm changing my mind to the Colts.
No, it's too late.
No, it's not. I already changed it.
Oh my
Floor.
god. Is that official? You're the Colts?
Yeah,
Okay.
It was tough. For
Looking
me,
at this
but-
game, there's a lot of injuries going on with the Colts right now. Offensive line's banged up. The defense is banged up. Jacoby played really good last week against the Vegas Raiders. He turned it up. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I'm going the Dolphins. I'm not gonna
Sweet.
change my pick.
Another one I win.
The Eagles
Alex is
have
going to
both
change
of
his
these
pick
picks
back
right
now.
Nope, I'm staying right where I'm at.
Cleveland Browns are favored by 2 points against the Minnesota Vikings. They travel into Minnesota. We're going to start with Brant.
Oh, this is a good one. Like I said, Minnesota could easily be 3-0 right now. A couple field goals away from being 3-0.
Look at the
But
Browns, but if we're a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Let's go. Hurry up.
yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit longer now. Hold on, give me a second. Let me do some quick reading through here. No, it's gonna be the Browns.
Okay. Ryan.
Vikings.
I love it. Means we win.
Atard.
I'll tell you this. I think the Vikings are better built to score more than Cleveland is. Like they can score in bunches. Like they don't have a Justin Jefferson. They don't have an elite passing offense the way. I mean, you can say Vikings defense stinks. I completely agree with you. But the Vikings can pull this out. I think it's a tight game regardless. Cleveland will have to run the control clock for sure. Give me the edge, Minnesota. I don't love it either way, but I just have a feeling that Jefferson has a huge game.
This game is tough. I look at both sides. I know Dalvin Cook is hurt, but Madison came in really well last week.
It doesn't even matter.
A lot of production. It really doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same type of player. I'm looking down at what can I get from either defenses. I trust Cleveland's defense more than I do in Minnesota. I'm going Browns. Alex?
Yeah, the comment was made about the clown they call a quarterback there not having any interceptions. Well, he probably has 2 in this game. I'm going the Browns, and I don't think it's close. I think we win by 10.
Oh,
And he jinxed it.
There it is.
the New York Giants go into the New Orleans Saints. Saints are favored by 7.5. We are starting with Ryan on this one.
Saints. New York just needs to burn up at this point.
Atard?
Not often can you go into a game and say Jameis Winston's the best quarterback on the field. It's fun.
I got the Saints, boys. I think the Giants season is just done after that last week debacle of a game. Alex?
Saints.
Brant?
The Aints.
All right. Next game up is the Tennessee Titans, who possibly could be out with both their starting receivers, Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. Titans are favored 7 points still on the line against the New York Jets as they travel to New York Jets. Are we all saying Jets?
Yeah. Derrick Henry's more than enough.
I don't care if Tennessee leaves their entire defense at home. It's not a big deal. They're gonna win the game.
Derrick Henry's enough to win that game.
You think they'll get the 7, Brian?
I think it's the Jets scored no points last week, so if the Titans
I know it's bad.
Look, it's not even Zach Wilson's fault. I don't want to blame the kid. I mean, this is a cursed franchise. They've been rebuilding since Super Bowl 3. Eventually, they'll get it right. We all might be dead, but they might get it right eventually. So,
are we all saying the Chiefs?
I mean, yeah, I think 7's a little low on that point spread.
Well, it is a
only
road
'cause
game.
it's in
Their
Philly.
defense.
I mean,
is
I
bad.
get what you're saying, but still.
But the Chiefs haven't blown teams out.
Oh,
I mean,
you're right.
they've been one possession games going back into last year. I mean, look, I'm going to enjoy watching
Got a
Patrick
pretty
Mahomes.
tough schedule.
That secondary's garbage, so they'll be fine. This is a get right game, and they're pissed. They are pissed.
Oh yeah, they might gonna take it out on him.
Possibly the game of the week right here, gentlemen. Arizona Cardinals are going into LA at SoFi Stadium against the Rams. The Rams are favored by 4.5. I'll start this one off. I'm going Rams. I'm not even going to talk about the game. I don't even want to talk about it. So I'm going Rams. Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Rams too, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cardinals somehow pull it out.
Agree. Brant.
McVay is 8-0 against the Cardinals. It'll be 9-0 after this next game.
Damn.
Eagles.
Rams, easy.
Atard.
It ain't that easy. They're both 3-0. They're both 3-0 teams for a reason. They're both very good. The Rams might have a little letdown after last week. I think that the Cards cover regardless, but it's going to be a tight game.
So who you picking?
I will take the Rams, but
There you go. For just a win, straight win.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Seattle Seahawks travel in to the Bay Area against the 49ers. Niners are favorite by 2.5. Alex, you get to start this one off.
Look at that pain look on his face. Just like it's so uncomfortable.
He started out this all white. Now he's all red.
49ers defense is not played up to what I expected.
It's true. It's very true.
Their linebacking core is horrendous, dude. They have
Seahawks
not played good at all.
definitely have the advantage at quarterback. Is Debo? Did Debo get hurt in that last game?
No, he's fine.
Okay.
Him and Ayuk are both fine.
Yeah, Ayuk actually showed up. It was pretty nice for my fantasy team.
I'm gonna go with Seattle, but
Got
I'm
out of the
not
doghouse.
very confident with this pick. And I picked them last week, and I wasn't confident. I regretted it, but I'm gonna pick them again this week.
Brant.
For me, I don't trust the Niners. That offense is rough, to say the least. They almost blew week 1 against the Lions, which is obviously not a good team. I think Seahawks here.
I think Lions are better than people thought.
Ryan.
Yeah, I got Seahawks. Their run game looks bad, and that's usually the 49ers' biggest strong suit is the run game. So Seahawks, 100%.
Atard.
Seattle all day. They cannot. He's not losing 3 in a row. He will will them to a victory.
Talking about Russ?
Yes.
I'm going with a better offensive line. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Woo! All
Who's
right,
quarterback?
I like it.
I'm going with the
Junior
49ers.
Trey.
Just a
I
feeling.
think after this
Just a
week, you're
feeling.
going to get a lot more Trey Lance fans out there that are going to want to see him go.
The Baltimore Ravens travel to Denver, the Mile High.
Jesus Christ.
The line
even's
is
a gift.
even.
Even's a gift.
Brant, you get the honors of doing the first pick because I
got
still don't
Broncos.
know.
I got Broncos -1.
You're not up.
No, I'm just saying.
Brant.
Broncos are -1. The line must have updated since.
Oh, okay. Brant.
Yeah, I don't know how you. Yeah, I hope someone else picks Denver, but I'm going Baltimore.
Ryan.
Ravens.
Atard.
I'm just checking the line. It is Denver -1, but they're begging you to take it. Ravens win this game. Again, Denver's a hollow 3-0. This would be an actual legitimate win for them. But I think Baltimore finds a way to get it done.
I'm definitely picking Baltimore in this game. I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Lamar's going to run all over this defense, especially with Bradley Chubb out.
Clean sweep.
Alex.
Clean sweep.
All right. All right. We got 3 more, boys. Steelers go into Green Bay. Green Bay is favored -6.5. I'm going to go with the Packers. I'm pretty sure everybody else here is going to go Packers.
What? Did you not see Ben Roethlisberger's throw to Santonio Holmes?
He
How you
Jesus
play against
God.
he was waiting for that. He
The
was waiting for that.
Packers.
This is not really a good spot to play Green Bay. You lost 2 in a row.
Everybody picking Packers?
You're going to Lambeau.
Yeah, that's a rough
Packers.
spot.
Pack
All right.
win, pack cover.
Okay. Tampa Bay, favorite 7, going into New England. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Are we all picking Bucks?
Yeah.
Line's not big enough.
All of the intrigue and drama around this game will be great, and then the kickoff will happen, and then nobody will care.
It'd be so boring.
Yeah, it's going to be over by the second quarter.
The beginning of the game and the handshakes are going to be the most intriguing aspect of this
Possibly
entire
the game of the week.
I feel like the Buccaneers.
Whoa, someone goes, what?
I feel like the Buccaneers score more in the first half than the Patriots score all game.
I'm with Drew. I'm going the 49ers. Thank you. Denver, Steelers, Pats. Thanks, D. Hill, for joining.
He lost all credibility with like 3 of those picks.
Raiders.
You sure you don't want to change your Denver?
Raiders versus the Chargers. It is Raiders week, Ryan. We are favored by 3 points, and we could do something that the Browns couldn't do, be able to finish and win a game against the Chiefs. But that's
My Lord.
how we
this
do
clown.
it, baby.
This
How
clown.
we do it. Bolt up. Here
Yeah.
we go. Ryan, you get the first pick.
Chargers, bolt up, baby. Big win here.
Atard.
You better be concerned that this is not a letdown after the win last week. That's all I'm saying. The Chargers should win the game. The Raiders have not been that impressive, overtime, this and that. But if the Chargers come in, we just beat the Chiefs, we're awesome. The Raiders can put it on them and get a win in that game. I will say the Chargers, but that's also going to be a very pro-Raider crowd.
Oh, easy.
Oh, we're used to that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
No, but like
we,
this is
we haven't
like-
had a home game in years.
I
No,
don't
but
think
like LA is still all Raider fans.
Yeah.
They're gonna come in and really.
Yeah, so is San Diego. Wherever you go, wherever they
75%,
go.
75% of ticket sales is Raider fans. Brant,
How do y'all do on primetime games and stuff like that? How have y'all been the last few years?
The last few years.
That's we beat the Chiefs 3 years ago in Arrowhead. Outside of that, I don't really remember.
We lost in New
Alright.
Orleans last year.
Because I like
Oh, that's
thinking about that. Like that's the big thing.
It-
Primetime games are just different for teams, different
Different
prep,
coach,
stuff like
different
that.
OC, different quarterback. It's a new team right now.
Dallas is 0-6 and they won against Philly last night or Monday
Sure.
night.
I mean, Philly's not really an NFL team. You could put them
But
in
it
the
doesn't
SEC and they
matter.
wouldn't go
You're bringing
undefeated.
up, but you're bringing up primetime career.
No, I mean it
stuff. Come on,
matters.
man.
Like Washington,
Yeah, bro,
even though they've
bring
had
old
20
shit, right?
different. See, Washington, even though you've had 20 different coaches, they always just manage to shit the bed on primetime
Meeks just
Monday
pick-
night games.
just
I'm going Chargers.
It's a listen. This is a tough road.
You fucking-
Jesus.
you knew it.
Are you kidding me?
Blocking your
This
shit.
is a tough
Oh my
road game for the
God.
Chargers.
It's yeah. Listen, Alex, go ahead.
Just do it. Give it to me.
After-
I want the
Do it.
satisfaction.
After what
Do
I
it!
witnessed last week, it would be hard to go against the Chargers.
Do it, mother
It's
effer.
Justin
Uh,
Herbert, baby.
Do it.
Justin Herbert, baby.
Do it.
I'm
I
gonna
dare
go
you.
Chargers, but I got a
Wow.
feeling you guys lose.
Then
Oh,
go Raiders.
I'm
And
just
I-
Raiders.
And I hope I
Go
contribute.
Raiders.
I hope I contribute to that. I hope I.
if the Chargers smell themselves a little bit, I'm just saying this is not a slouch team they're up against.
No, it's not.
I hope the Chargers lose. I just don't think it happens.
It's the Chargers, baby.
Oh, I pray the
Chargers.
Chargers lose, so I
It's the
can come
Chargers,
here
baby.
next Wednesday and talk all kinds of shit.
Chargers, baby. Chargers easily. Chargers, let's go. Monday
Yeah.
Night Football. Brandon Staley has a pair of balls on him.
He does.
Something that
Hey,
Anthony Lynn has never had.
big
What do you
credit
mean
to him
he has
last
a
week.
Pair of
Did you
balls
see last week? You should have watched the game, brother.
Oh, I did watch the game. It
We-
was.
we
It,
could-
it
He
was.
could have downed it
he'd
out,
have
kicked the
been a-
field goal. He went for the first down. Went for the TD. Nail in the
Cowboys,
coffin.
My Lord.
Cowboys beat the Chargers.
baby.
Chargers
That's right.
beat the Chiefs. Cowboys better than Chiefs, right? That's
Jesus.
There it
correlation I
is.
draw.
Yeah, I like
that's
it. I
that's
like-
how
I
the
like your
algorithm
segment.
works.
You're
Love
killing me,
Tra-
dude.
transitive statements, right?
You're
Geometry.
killing me, dude.
Yeah, you know what? You're killing me that you couldn't beat the freaking Chiefs last year in the playoffs with a backup quarterback.
Oh, here we go.
Figure it out. Let's
Yeah,
go.
here we go. In the fourth quarter, I know it's cool.
Let's
though.
go. Let's go. Hey, great show tonight. That was tons of fun. I love it. Guys, final thoughts? Anybody?
Hey, thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
Batar,
Thank
man.
you for having me. I
It's
was
always
happy to listen. Any chance I can get to come on one of our shows and piss on the Eagles' grave, I'm all in. So I'm good. Eagles stink. They're gonna lose like about 100 games in a row. They're gonna get
What
a new
about-
quarterback because they didn't
What about
quarterback's
Washington
fault.
football team?
How bad are they? Yeah.
They're trash.
Y'all
Grant,
barely
Grant.
beat us.
Hey, listen,
Barely
Grant,
beat
I got-
us.
Still an L, baby.
Listen,
Still an
pretty
L.
much everybody else's team on this podcast is
Is
projected
good?
to be in the playoffs, and like poor. Listen, I've been going through
Hey.
for years, Brant. So
Bro,
I mean, you know,
Everybody
it's
needs a
just
charity
nice to be
case.
able to-
Grant's our charity case.
You
Brent,
you
if it-
can't. You don't get to choose who
No,
you
right.
follow.
Well, I
It
mean,
chooses
some of us
you.
do.
And
Like
sometimes it
Austin
hates you.
Trammell's a Philadelphia
Sometimes it
Eagles
hates
fan,
you. It
born and
abuses
bred in
you.
San Diego.
Brent, if it makes you feel any better, Cam Newton is still a free agent and is readily available.
Oh,
true.
You know,
God.
He ain't better than
at least I
Heineke.
can go to YouTube and I can watch championship games from the '80s to make me feel better.
Oh,
The
jeez.
city of San Diego is just lucked out. They got nothing.
What do you mean?
They hang their hat on no hitters and freaking
We've had
hitting
one
for the
no-hitter.
cycle.
Bringing up old
That
shit.
is what they
Bringing up
they
old
hold.
shit.
You were
Y'all have
Guy.
what?
When was the last time you guys won a championship? What
I
year
was
it?
4, 92.
The
Damn.
Redskins?
Right, you-
Yeah.
Probably still sucking milk out of your mom's tit when they won, dude. He
Show us
stopped.
the
Stop.
tattoo.
Probably.
Stop.
Maybe.
It's a joke.
I don't know.
Better
Hey,
watch those
but-
trammels, dude. Those trammels,
But at
they
least,
operate
but at
different.
least I
They
get
do,
at least I
like
get
different
that
animals.
satisfaction of watching
Different
those
animals.
and seeing what. And Washington Capitals have won. The Washington Wizards have won championships. So it's
The Nationals did win a World Series, right?
Yeah.
I'm an Orioles fan, so I also have to go back to
no.
the 70s for them too.
We have a Little League World Series title. What are you talking about, dude?
My
Yeah, bro.
God, that's where you gotta go. That's embarrassing. Stop.
Dude,
All right,
oh god, this is
Hey.
terrible.
Time to go to bed.
Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you, Presidente, to come on tonight for our
Listen,
show.
I couldn't turn an invitation though.
What happened to our intro music video though? What happened to that?
Oh, I changed it. So YouTube keeps saying that it's like not being able to be played in 111 countries, one of which is not ours. But what the hell?
Mother effer! All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for watching this episode of Game Winning Drive on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at SportsBox Show, Twitter at SportsBox Show, Instagram at The SportsBox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.